Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Centre, and welcome again to the world of magic and miracles, where everything comes together perfectly for everyone in every moment. And right now, we're starting to feel the movement that's inherent in our life, the movement that allows you to live above the world of magic and miracles, not just above the platform of living, but above the world of magic and miracles. That world that filters everything and allows you to view the future, the past, the elegance of your own being, the magic of a child, and the magic and miracles in the world around you. But besides that, it opens the field to other realms that are currently a major part of your life. Even though the physical part of us has been trained to ignore what is obviously in front of us. That has disappeared through the world of magic and miracles. And now we can look forward to more and more excitement as our connection and our interface with the universe and the world around us starts to formulate itself without the need for any control. The beautiful interface with everything without any thought or reaction is one of the things that comes naturally to everyone. You don't have to bring it in on top of everything. It's already there. It's already part of you, and it has always been part of you. But it's no longer covered, and it's no longer outside your reach. The millions of connections you have to the universe and to the fields around you are becoming totally obvious. And the thought that we had to learn how to use these facilities is also starting to disappear, because these facilities just raise themselves up and appear in our life when we're not looking. They've always done that. But now it happens every day, almost continually. And the energies continue to rise and make themselves known, even though you haven't got a full concept of what they are. The beauty of instant recognition of a person, of an event, of a sound, is something that we're starting to give immense value to. That recognition is from some place that we can only call our origin. And as it comes alive, we can see that the world that we manufactured for ourselves is not complete. The world that has that sense of recognition in every part of it is the real world that was given to us to live. And each time we recognize and we feel the essence of our own being in that familiar ground, we start to generate a transmission that is so beautiful that will knock the socks off everyone. and the sparkle in everyone's eyes is the major part of that recognition. Not the look of deep thought that you see in a lot of people, but the sparkle that has no restriction and is directed to everyone and everything. It has no control point. It just is. And if you see a young child just brimming with laughter and joy and excitement, you can see that they're not connected to any of the world that we used to be connected to. They're connected to some mystical place that is so unique that it keeps them in a wondrous field all the time. You may say it doesn't happen all the time, but it does. It becomes overlaid by the interactions with our world. But shortly, that won't be possible. Nothing can overlay your origin. Nothing can overlay the majestic being that makes up your whole essence. And no one can overlay a belief or a set of rules on something that is universal, endless, and without rules. It's like trying to lay some rules out for love. You end up with a lot of rules and no love. But as soon as the rules are taken away, you find the love is still there in all its essence. And its capability of carrying you through the totally impossible remains with you all the time. I've written about your personal supercomputer and what it can do and how it interacts with you in the world. But it has nothing on what you're about to deal with. You're about to be able to transmute into anything you wish and still be the person you are, all at the same time. To stand and watch the birds or an animal or another person and all of a sudden be in their body or right next to them or in their environment and still be standing where you are. Your capability of enhancing another person's life just by allowing that part of you that exists in that same space they do to provide the nourishment, the endless nourishment that you're able to provide. And it's only a case of knowing it's possible. And then that program called simplicity takes over completely. The simpler it is, the faster it is, the more effective it is. So we don't have to struggle with anything because it all exists for us right now in every space in this world and outside it. And each one of us has access to a unique part of everything. And it's not divided by space or time or position. It's capable of bringing the perfection in your life that you know you were promised. And it does not depend on another person, another thing, an action, or a concept. It's totally simple and without limitation. As we move along, we're going to find that we want to prove everything that we're talking about. And the only way you can prove it is through yourself. Not by hard work, not by presentation, but by actually allowing yourself to live the mystery that you really are. Once you live that mystery, your interface with everything falls into place without any attempt at finding out how or why. We can walk on hot coals, and I keep mentioning this, and not burn ourselves. And we can say, oh, that is all right for everyone else, but I couldn't do it. And then you won't be able to. Because you are the master of your own destiny, of your own world, and of the interface with every part of it. And so if you can see that you are the magician, and you don't have to do anything to make it happen, you have to use all the new inputs and outputs that you feel in the energies around you. The communication, the ability to see without really having a visual is one of the things that comes naturally. And to admit, wow, I knew that person was coming around the corner, only takes a couple of seconds to turn into part of your reality. So that every time you know where everyone is, what they're doing, and how to use it. And you might say to yourself, that sounds like too much. But if you're in the traffic, walking down the main street of Manhattan, where there's millions of people, lots of cars, lots of danger, all sorts of things, you can still be totally happy and handle only what you need in your life, including not even seeing the people around you, but just seeing yourself, where you're going, great meal you're about to have, great company, and an excitement because of the recognition of all the parts that you're familiar with. It's not so easy out in the desert because you don't have the opportunity for all the recognition that's carried by each person. It's easy in the trees because that recognition of silence has no disturbing factors. And you don't need to practice. It's like you've already got your license. You don't have to sit for the exam again. That license came with you when you entered this world. And it allowed you to experience more than people in other realms, because you can demonstrate the effect of the beautiful gifts you brought to this world. and you don't demonstrate it by anything but the source of your origin, which is totally majestic and above all things that we know of in this life. So the gentleness that's coming has a strength with it that's enormous. It's here in many different parts of the world, in many different aspects of the trees, of the birds, of the animals, and many of the people who are not in everyday turmoil of the world. Those who have gone past those experiences, or those who have come in without any knowledge of those experiences, hold an immense power that's about to bring more than just peace to the world, but peace and well-being to everyone and everything. Many of you are familiar with what I say, and you know that if anything goes wrong with your body or anything around you, you only need a little bit of time to change what's around you without doing anything, but just knowing that you're capable of healing and producing harmony within your being. So all the sore spots, the sudden bump or whatever, gradually settles down and goes back into the mode that we recognize as our normal being. So if we want to go past our normal being, we can do that also. And we can, and you can feel it. And it's not a discussion, it's reality. When everything falls apart, there's a reality that appears that is much, much better than the one you had before it fell apart. In every phase of your life, where you think something has gone wrong, somewhere down the path, you have picked up on the reality that appears by itself, because it's always there. What we're dealing with is something that's real and physical, something that penetrates all actions, all plans, and changes the direction of your life whenever it feels like it. Because that reality exists throughout the universe. It exists when you can't see it. And there's always another way to handle everything. Because we rarely follow the true reality that we hold from our origin. It might sound a little difficult to grasp, but if you kick your toe and you do a really good job of it, you've just changed the direction of your life. Everything you are about to do has to change. And out of nowhere, your path in life has changed through that simple, what you think is a mistake. It's a part of the reality that comes in and straightens you up and makes you drop things that you thought were your reality. You have a minor accident, a major accident, or even a confrontation. Or you suddenly fall over something. The direction of everything around you has been planted in the right place by the true reality that you are actually living. And you can step forward into that reality, forget the rest, and you'll feel the immense energy of nourishment, of calmness, of balance. Your body will move smoothly. Your life will move smoothly. You'll progress in ways that you never even thought were possible. And you'll notice I didn't tell you how to do anything. It's yours. Each person knows that they can step through and be outside the bubble that was created as their personality. And you step through the wall of that bubble and you'll feel freedom you've never felt before in your life. You'll feel access to all the realms, to all the beings that have assigned themselves to you specifically to make sure that your world is exactly as it's supposed to be for the beautiful, majestic being that has decided to gift itself into the world. So as we move forward, we are actually revealing not just ourselves, but the capabilities that have never been ventured into before. And it's very exciting to wake up and feel yourself vibrating and say, I'll put this outside my body and see what happens. I'll allow it to go into someone else's life and help them. I'll spread it to the environment around me. And all of a sudden, it expands and it does exactly that. And you can find yourself in a state where you can feel everyone and everything because you've allowed that loose field that needs relief at the end of each day to actually go and do what it's supposed to do. We've had a habit of collecting our field as tight as we possibly can and thinking that will give us stability. But in fact, the broader the field, the more stable you are. Just like spinning a top. The wider the top, the bigger the top, the more inertia, the more stable. And we have a comment from our friendly bird, the crow, and a few more. And they're having got good conversation to demonstrate that it doesn't take much to change the direction of your life. It doesn't take much to change the direction of what we're looking at. And it's really simple. We didn't have to do anything. The birds came in, changed the direction. Everything comes alive because we can step outside of that bubble that we think is our own reality. The beautiful thing about all this is that it's continually changing, but it's always within the framework of our recognition. So who are we if we can recognize the impossible? If we can recognize a person we've never seen before? If we can recognize the signal from a bird? There you go. So who are we? We're a lot more than what we categorized ourselves as. And so let's play with it. And let's get out there. Even though we're sitting in our own chair, we get out there and feel the world. Feel past the world. And you don't have any sensation apart from a beautiful interaction. And nothing of the manufactured world seems that important, because it's simply there and it's there for you. And it's always been there for you. And now we can increase our capacity to enjoy what the immense universe and the world has made available to us. And not just be the little tiny person who is a spot in the middle of the universe that's insignificant. Our character affects everything. Our love of life makes it possible for everybody else to feel that same love of life. And the expanse that we're about to make available to ourselves is so thrilling, it's unbelievable. And that's why we love it. Unbelievable to the present state of mind, but totally in line with exactly everything that we recognize from our origin. And so the next time you look in someone's eyes and you see that very slight smile happen, you'll understand that you've made a communication with some part of you that is so exotic, they can't even measure it. But people know. And they are more sensitive than the most sensitive animal on the earth. They can know from smell, from feeling, exactly what's happening around them. A sailor knows when the wind is going to blow, or when they have to be very careful because the weather is about to change. And they don't need any notification from anywhere. They've been doing it for thousands of years. They know where the fish are, not because they caught them there yesterday, but they just know. Someone in a hang glider knows exactly where the wind's coming from, what will hold them up. These things are minor compared to the capability of each one of you. And we're about to see more and more the effect that this harmony is having on different parts of our society. But it'll never, ever touch the effect that it has on every individual. Because we help one another, independent of who we are. We're not connected. Our fields interact continually and make it look like we're connected. But in fact, one enhances the other all the time. Even if it looks the opposite in everyday life. Every person that comes onto this earth adds to the beauty of this earth and to the beauty of what we experience. And you might think it's a natural progression. We get better each time the next generation comes through. You come back again, you pick up a new set of vibrations, a new interaction, a new capability, and you bring it as a gift. And that's what enhances everything and everyone. So now we're at a point where we should celebrate that we've made it this far. Because now we're able to make it last a lot longer. We're able to do the things that we wanted to do all our lives. We just have to use our own methods. And those methods come automatically as we interact with one another and we push into that world that we recognize and enhance the world that's around us. Each one of you has a marvelous gift. And all you have to do is wish one another perfect life, perfect health, and a very, very magic future. Thank you.